up? What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode. So it's opening day of grouper season. It's a little late in the day. It's about 1 o'clock. We're still gonna try to get out there, and we're gonna do nothing but dive and spearfish and see if we can get some groupers for dinner. All right, guys, stay tuned. Alrighty guys, so you guys liked the voiceover in the last video, so I'm going to go ahead and do it again in this video. Alright, so again, the visibility is very poor. We have 10, 15 feet, but it's still very murky. It's very cloudy. It's not a clear 10 or 15 feet, so it's not really much at all. But let's go ahead and get into this dive. Alright, so right now I'm taking you to the back of the boat. There's, on the bottom of this boat, there's a drop off where I've seen big grouper stacked up and they hide underneath the boat. They can hide from bigger predators. So that's where we're going right now, and we're trying to be quiet and sneak up on them. But you'll see that there's no really sneaking up on them with the flashlight and the spear gun and the bubbles. But I'm actually pretty disappointed in this this spot right here. This spot in the past has held big grouper, big snapper, and it just wasn't there today, of course, because you know it's opening season and all. But yeah, I was actually very disappointed. There were some small little groupers running around, decent sized snapper running around, sheephead, but we're on one mission today, and it's to find grouper. So just confirming there's nothing there, and we're gonna keep it moving because we can't spend all day in this spot hoping they show up. So it's pretty funny, this little AJ right here followed me for most of the dive, and he was pretty friendly, believe it or not. He didn't really mind me at all. Alrighty guys, so this is the second out of 3 locations that it's another good hot spot I've seen grouper. If you guys look along the floor here, there's an opening around the entire floor, and there's big fish hiding in there. Big drums, usually big grouper, big snapper. But I spent some time just being patient, watching, looking to see if I've seen any signs of any grouper laying around, and I don't see anything. So I'm starting to get impatient because it's time, we need to put some meat in the boat. So, and all of a sudden you see a nice little AJ, and I'm like, oh, I need some meat in the boat. But I decided not to take the shot, and I'm gonna let him swim off. It was for a good reason, because I have one more spot I need to hit before we start shooting AJs. We're here for grouper, not AJs. Okay, if you look on the right to the floor right there, I've seen lobster under there. I've seen decent sized caberas under that little flap. And again today, it is bone empty. There's just nothing under it. Few little snapper, but that's it. So it looks like AJs are gonna be on the menu tonight. There's a nice little Goliath grouper playing peekaboo. He's good 100, 125 pounds right there. He's always in the front of this barge. I've never seen him really stray too far off the barge in that aspect. But it's time to start putting some meat in the boat. So I keep an eye on him. I load up that third band, make sure I go all the way through. And now we're just going to pick one out. I don't want one too big. I don't want a long fight. I just want a medium-sized one. Just put some meat in the boat. Aim up, take a shot. I look back to make sure the Goliath grouper's not coming to flank me in the back. And so now it's time to get this fish to the barge. That's where safety is on that barge. Um, the groupers don't really go on top of the barge. Sharks won't go on top of the barge. Sharks usually run the sand. Goliath groupers usually run the inside the barge. So my safety, so I can focus on the fish, and landing this fish is going to be on top of the barge. So that's where I'm heading now. And this is still a really decent sized fish. He's every bit of 15 pounds, and he is causing a tangle mess of my mono all over the shaft. So again, I go ahead, put him down on the barge so he doesn't kick up any of the sand, cause too much commotion. Last thing we want to do is draw in sharks or a hungry grouper. So I go ahead and end it for him so he doesn't have to suffer no more. And we're gonna go ahead and put him on the string and get some more fish. Get that mess untangled finally. Alright, and I got this whole school of AJs running around me, so I'm like, alright, I'll take another AJ. And I go to line up on this AJ to go take the shot, and at the corner of my eye, I see a big Goliath grouper on the sand. And that's very odd for a Goliath grouper to be on the sand, especially if I didn't push him there, and he's freely going there by himself. So that's kind of a red flag for me at first. I'm looking around, like, gonna pick out another AJ, and then I see another Goliath grouper on the sand. So that's, again, it's a red flag for me. I don't know why they're going to the sand. They run the barge, not the sand. The sharks run the sand. So now I'm on the cautious side, because in my mind there's something up. And we're continuing to look around, trying to figure out why these groupers are going to the sand on their own. And that's when I see it. The sharks are out. So everybody must be hungry. And this shark actually comes pretty close to on top of the boat. I know the GoPro doesn't really show distance that well, but he's only about 15 feet away from me, which is not good, especially with the fish hanging between my legs. So I figure that's fine. I'll just stay on top of the barge and see if I can get another chance on any of these groupers that are possibly hiding inside the barge. And we're continuing to look around. Again, I see the snapper. I see, some decent sized mangrove snappers, but I still want a grouper really bad. There's a nice little drum right there, pretty big drum. Another drum right there to the left. But my goal is grouper. And while we're looking for fish, we're trying to keep an eye out for where the sharks are at, and now they're circling pretty close. So it's going to be time to get rid of this fish, float him to the surface. And I've never actually used this system before. This is my first time using this system, and of course, it goes horribly wrong. So when I actually blow it up and connect the fish to it, when I click the D-ring onto my line that's hooked to my buoy, which is on the surface, I actually unhook the fish, and when I send it to the surface, I actually leave the fish in between my legs. So I've dove in with plenty of sharks before. I spearfish cobia off of sharks. Sharks don't really worry me. It's what the camera's not picking up in the distance because of the murkiness of the water. There's a pair of sharks, and they're doing fast, quick movements, which is normally not good. The sharks that you guys are seeing on the screen are just investigating. Yeah, they smell a little blood. They're just trying to see if they can get an easy meal, which is okay. Okay, but the sharks that are doing the fast, quick movements, coming in, disappearing real quick, those are the ones that are worrying me. because a hungry shark is an unpredictable shark. So the idea was I was going to wait for the school of AJ to come back in, and that's when I was going to send the fish up. So hopefully there was enough AJs around that he wouldn't notice the fish going up the line. So I'm finishing blowing up the float right now, and as you guys are going to see, I send it to the top, but the fish stays in between my legs. There the float goes, and there's the fish still in between my legs. So at this point, the dive is over for me for safety reasons. I'm a solo diver. I can't watch my back and shoot fish and watch out for hungry sharks safely. So at this point in time, I'm just going to call it. So I wait for the school of AJs to return, and then I begin my ascent to the surface. But again, you'll see here in a minute that the sharks follow the blood trail up and soon find me when I'm on my safety stop. But thank God these sharks were just investigating. They weren't the two hungry sharks that were following me doing the quick movements. So they don't get too close. They just, again, looking for an easy meal, which is okay. Alrighty guys, so I'm not going to make this video any longer than what it needs to be. You guys kind of got the gist of it. They follow me all the way to the boat. But like always guys, like, subscribe, share our videos, and again, if you guys like these voiceovers, just continue to tell me you guys like them in the comments. Leave comments, hit that like button, and I'll continue to do some of these voiceovers on some of my dives. But guys, till next time, we gone.